Hello, everyone. Why don't we get started? Thanks everyone for joining us here today. My name is David Carroll and I'm the Executive Director for the Greater Englewood Chamber of Commerce. As the Safer at Home guidelines were released on May 5th, we got a lot of calls and a lot of questions from local businesses asking, what does this all mean for their business? How do we follow these guidelines? How are we going to move forward? And so we partnered with the City of Englewood to come up with these webinars. And the city has been a wonderful sponsor. And so first of all, let me thank the city for all they've done to make this happen. Thank you so much. Today we are talking about contactless or touchless payment systems. I find that word kind of hard to say at times, but it's what's in the guidelines. And so what does all that mean? It includes hardware and virtual payments, websites, and all of those kind of things. And so we have some wonderful speakers today to try to kind of walk us through some options. But first, I'd like to begin today. I'd like to ask our mayor, Linda Olson, to maybe share some words of encouragement for all of us to get started.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, David and the Chamber for hosting this and the many other specific topic areas that you have planned coming up. I just think it's tremendous. I just got off a phone call earlier today with the governor. The Metro Mayor's Caucus meets weekly, and we have asked the governor to join in. And the Metro Mayors is a group of 38 mayors in the metro area. We're all part of a caucus. We try and do things together, talk together, share information, argue a little bit together, which we did a little bit of today, which is always good because you get some really great ideas out there. And today the governor was on with us, and it was interesting because the topic that came up was largely what you're talking about in this session and in the ones to come. But again, I want to thank the Chamber for taking the lead on this. I want to make sure that anybody on and that's going to be listening to this does know about our 3 grants to assist businesses. I'm always surprised when we find out we have a business that doesn't know about these grants. And we want to make sure that this information is out there of the small business recovery grants, $4,000 for new applicants, $2,000 added on if you got one before. So reapply. We increased that by another chunk of money that council approved. And then the nonprofit grants is something new. So if you know of nonprofits that are addressing COVID responses, there's specific possibilities there. And then $500 reopening and marketing grant for those who have been closed during this time to try and help you take the edge off, as you have to do a number of things around making it safer for everybody. Anything from, buying masks to these contactless kind of operations. And then the one that came up today with the governor is all around this patio seating and how do we do outside opening. And we had quite a conversation. And he's very, very encouraged in thinking we're going to be able to do this pretty easily. Unfortunately, after he got, and this is being videoed, it's going to be put out there, right? He wants it to happen. There is no doubt in my mind that he wants it to happen. Unfortunately, the alcohol and liquor licensing arm of the government isn't quite as prepared for it as I think he thinks they are. So we are trying to push very hard at the state level where some things need to be loosened up. We can do some things on the city level, which I think, we can do an emergency order and suspend some things, but that can't go on forever. So we need the state to back it up. So we agreed today. What we think is happening is that he doesn't necessarily know what's happening in the, sort of the bureaucracy of it, which I mean that not in a negative way. I just mean that in the administrative process, and that perhaps there's some miscommunication or urgency that has not been communicated. So we are sending a letter to him again after our meeting today to give him very, very specific areas where we're finding a challenge in the local reopening of particularly patio areas, alcohol, food trucks that might have both, other kinds of things. So the city is working on it. We're trying to help increase food truck activity and open air and farmer market type settings, and waive requirements for use of parking lots and parking permits and those kinds of things to make it all happen. I think council is totally behind this happening as well, as long as we can do it with some kind of reasonable distancing and care for one another in this process, so that we don't end up back in the same place we were last month. None of us wants that to happen. The other piece of good news that I asked the governor today is, what is the plan if we have a spike again? Because everyone's saying we're going to have it. Part of the spike will be because we have a lot of testing that's going on, and a big thanks to the governor for going to Washington last week, pushing very hard with the president to get more testing and more strategy. We have a lot more testing in the state of Colorado now, much more, in the infrastructure to do it. So that's going to mean that it's going to go up, but then how do we respond to that increase, knowing whether or not that's just a lot more testing being done? Are people testing and coming out more positive? Are we increasing the positive numbers? And then those who are really getting ill and filling the hospitals. And his response was he's going to push it back to the local areas. We probably will not do a state lockdown again unless things got really bad throughout the state. So that was hopeful, because I do think that different parts of the state, as well as different parts of the county, have different things happening. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on our local health, county health folks. And it will be very important for our local businesses like you to be keeping a very clear testing and tracking kind of system in your place. And if you can be very, very careful in your opening, I think we can keep sustaining it. If we're crazy about it and think it doesn't matter, this disease is not really anything, I think we're going to be in bad shape. So whether you believe it or not, go with the yes, because you will make it a lot easier for the rest. We just can't have people doing what you've been seeing in the news. That will not be useful. We don't want to go back to any kind of restrictions. I want you all to be open. Our council, I think, wants you all to be open. We want everyone to be as healthy as we can through this. And I think we can do that through distancing, wearing masks, as much as people think that that's not going to help. The epidemiology of it shows that you can cut down quite a bit, even though it came out at the beginning, like, don't wear masks. I think that was fueled by people not wanting N95s being worn. So do as much as you can and let the city help you where we can in making sure you're successful at this. So I appreciate you're doing this. I'm glad to answer any questions, but I know you have a plan here, so go for it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And let me put a plug in for the city as well. I would say, if you're a local business and you're watching this and you need some help, please come to the chamber, come to the city. They've been bending over backwards to help all the businesses out there. And so it has really been great, not only through these grants and trying to do the best we can, helping us get this information out. So thank you very much for that, Mayor Olson. So let me move forward a little bit. As I was trying to wrap my head around, again, this contactless, touchless payment, what does that all mean? I happened to have a conversation with our next speaker, Kim Smith of Heartland Payment Systems. And Kim shared some, some ideas or some new hardware that is out there to make this a little bit easier for us to work out. And so I asked Kim to come share that with all of you. So please let me introduce Kim Smith of Heartland Payment Systems. Thanks, Kim.
You bet. Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Smith, and like David said, I'm with Heartland Payment Systems. And first and foremost, I have to just put this disclaimer out there. I'm working from home, and so my dog thinks the minute I sit down that it's an open invitation for him to get on my lap. So I have a 5-pound Pomeranian sitting on my lap right now. If you see him moving around, he just wants to be a part of it, I guess. So at any rate, right now businesses are having to adapt to new realities of our world. One of those realities is that safety matters just as much as the services or the products that merchants provide. Merchants have to take measures now to protect all of their customers and their employees. And those that are doing so are really demonstrating that they care about the people that are essential in keeping their doors open. So some of the things that we've done to help out with all this, and I guess I shouldn't say that any of this is new because it's really not. One thing that I'm seeing right now that's very popular with restaurants, because we're all talking about restaurants right now getting opened. So what we're seeing with restaurants, and I don't know if you can see this, is iPads. So restaurants are wanting to expand out to their patio, but is it really efficient for their servers to be running back and forth? You know, going back and forth to the point of sale system, taking orders that way. So we have a system that works with iPads. The servers can take it right out to the patio. And I've seen a couple restaurants stress about not having, you know, the capability to get reception out on the patio. And that's something that we can work around as well. But the iPad system is one thing right now for restaurants that has been a tremendous help, or will be, I guess I should say. We've got lots of restaurants that have been using it in the past. So it makes it very quick for them. Customers can actually sign on this, or they can do a printed receipt. We've also gone as far as to set up little portable carts for some of these restaurants with a larger patio, so they can have a little makeshift point of sale system, you know, along with condiments and stuff like that on this cart, and just kind of push it around. So that's one thing for restaurants that's going to work very well on their patios. Another little device that we have that works with point of sale systems is this little device. It's called a PAX A920 is what we call it, if you want to be technical about it. It works on Wi-Fi. It does integrate, again, with many point of sale systems. The cool thing about this one is servers can take the order right on it, just like they can the iPad. This one prints a receipt right at the unit, so the servers don't have to run back and forth. It's small enough that it can fit in their pocket. It's not heavy at all. And there's a handful of other things they can do on here. Of course, on all devices, you know, tips are programmed right in, so that's never anything to be worried about. But this is a great little device here. We also have, now going back to this particular device is great for restaurants. It is great for bars, and it can work in any other type of a setting, any other retail setting. It also works great for food trucks, delivery, so plumbers, electricians, things like that as well, HVAC. So this is a cool little unit here. This unit is a little pricier, by the way. Everything I'm showing you today is super cost effective, not expensive. This one is a little higher in price. We have these pin pads. You probably see these all over. Now this is a corded pin pad. Of course, I don't have it plugged in. It sits right on the counter. I just set one up this morning for a veterinary clinic, and they actually have this on the customer side of their plexiglass. So you start the transaction, customer inserts their card, customer will actually even put in their tip amount, and then they'll sign, pull out their card, customers on their way. Very quick, very efficient. Again, this one works for restaurants, bars, grocery stores, lodging, gas stations, quick serve, any type of retail, again, medical, dental, and veterinary clinics this is great for. And this can plug right into a desktop terminal as well. So super easy on this one. One other thing I want to mention is every system that we have is contactless. And I know there's a lot of folks that don't really know if their card is one that you can just tap. You know, on many devices, just like this one, you can actually just tap your card and it will take payment that way, just like Apple Pay, Google Pay. All of our devices do accept Apple Pay, Google Pay, and contactless cards. I do want to show you real quick though what a contactless card looks like. You may have one in your pocket right now, or your bank may not have issued you a contactless card. Let's see. So this one This is my American Express card, and I don't know if I'm on the camera there or not, but there is, it's like the little Wi-Fi signal there. It's just kind of like 4 stripes sideways. If you have that on your card, either on the front of your card or on the back of your card, that means that it is contactless and you can actually just tap your card on any unit. And when you're out and about at a business, you can ask, if you are set up to take Apple Pay, Google Pay, or just a contactless card, you can ask them, because that means you don't have to insert your card. This unit is a little mobile unit that we have. This is the actual unit here itself, and then this is the stand. Again, it is contactless. Something like this, super inexpensive. I set up a lot of these in hair salons, nail salons, med spas. They connect by Bluetooth. So there's no wires, there's no cards. You can use this on your the app, I should say, on your phone, whether it be Google, or I'm sorry, whether it be Droid or Apple, or you can use it on an iPad and turn it almost into a full-blown point-of-sale system, because it will do inventory tracking as well. So again, med spas, landscapers, HVAC, any type of personal service, this works great for. So we have quite a few different little units here that we can help you out with. Again, depending on your business type, we can just kind of tailor fit things to you. You know, this device may work great for one business, while, you know, the iPad and point of sale system might work best for others. So I am here for questions if you want to talk things through, kind of see what's best for your business and cost. Again, nothing I have here is very expensive at all. In getting back to business, I would say that getting one of these systems set up for you is probably one of the easiest things you're going to have to do. You know, again, restaurants and bars are needing to spread out their tables, expand their patios. This is something super easy. It's efficient, and it will help your business run smoother, and it will show your customers and your employees that you really do care by offering that contactless solution.
Great, thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
Would you, I guess one of the things we could do is, would you put your contact information in the chat, and anybody from there could grab there if we don't have any questions for now. But we'll just we'll see if we have any towards the end. But thank you again for that. Our next presenter, you may recognize from a talk we had at one of our idea labs called Instagram for Business. It was a very popular talk. Erica Hawley of Vivial. So again, I was looking at how do we implement a virtual payment system. How is this going to work with being on the web? And I asked Erica if she might share some of the best practices on driving customers to our online business. And that doesn't mean just our website, but social and all kinds of things out there. Erica's been a great member and a great partner, and she said absolutely, and said, let me in fact include one of my colleagues from Soaring Technologies, Justin Davis. So let me give it back to them. Let me introduce Erica and Justin, and they're going to give us a little PowerPoint.
Great, thank you so much. We're glad to be here. I'm going to try and share my screen really quickly. Let's see here. Are you able to enable attendee screen sharing, David?
Ah, I thought I was. How about if I do that?
Okay, that works. All right, are you able to see my screen now? Okay, perfect. All right. Well, one of the things that we really wanted to talk about today is making sure that as businesses are trying to reopen their doors, that it's easy to make sales. So not only for the restaurants, but any other retail or brick and mortar that's dealing with sales is probably facing some challenges and how to make sure that they're able to still do that online. So I brought in Justin today because he actually owns Soaring Technologies, and they are a website developer and an app developer. And what I do on the social side is really help businesses kind of bridge the gap. So today we're going to talk about a couple of different things here. We'll get to our contact information a little bit later. But Justin, you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. How's everybody doing? I am managing director of Soaring Tech. We build custom websites and apps, as Erica mentioned. We partner with marketing companies and marketing partners like Erica to kind of guide, the marketing strategy, and then we kind of do all the back end techie stuff to make it all happen. So
wonderful, thank you.
Keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there's going to be some Q&A, so we'll just dive right into this today. Obviously, Contactless is websites, people being able to shop directly from their mobile phones or their homes and connecting with you. So Justin's going to kind of walk us through some of the great DIY website platforms that make it easy to get your business online and to sell products online. And then I will cover some of the social platforms and the major changes that have recently happened in the market.
Yeah, so there are obviously a ton of e-commerce solutions out there. Some of them are very much meant for large businesses, and some of them are very kind of expensive custom solutions. And what we're going to do is focus on things that are a little bit more accessible, a little bit more DIY friendly, small business friendly. So I think that you may have heard of some of these. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of WordPress. We'll get to that in a moment. But what we've found is we're actually pointing a lot of our clients, if they don't have a larger need, to to Shopify and similar types of resources, because Shopify allows you, without a lot of technical knowledge, to set up a shop cart, set up a store, process payments for items. There's even a bit of inventory management and things like that, without necessarily having to involve an IT person or a web developer. There's one advantage that Shopify has, I'd say, over a lot of these other options, is that they have a they call it an app store, basically. I mean, think about it like an app for your iPhone. Shopify has these kind of plugins that you can use to extend the functionality of Shopify, again, without necessarily having to involve an IT person or a web developer. Although that can help with the setup of Shopify, and then there are certain kind of more techie types of things you can do with Shopify, where I would recommend you certainly talk to your web developer or IT person about that. Squarespace and Wix are kind of similar. They both have store options. Shopify, I'd say, is probably a little bit more robust, a little easier to get into. We don't really have a dog in the fight here. We're just kind of exploring these options. WordPress is probably a little bit more robust in terms of if you want to host your own. This is definitely something you'd want a web developer to help you set up. WordPress does offer its commerce solution through WooCommerce, which is a WordPress plugin. It is pretty robust for a small business. I think it's going to probably be more than what you guys would need to get online. There are also options for selling on other marketplaces like Amazon, Etsy, that sort of thing. Amazon has a couple of ways you can do that. There's Fulfilled by Amazon, which is basically they warehouse your stuff and they handle the shipping and all that distribution and stuff. They take a nice fat cut for that, so just be prepared to be careful about your margins on that one. But these can be a great way to start getting your products out there as well. It can get really complicated if you have a lot of inventory. You do want to have kind of a robust inventory management plan and software to back that up. It's something that is built into Shopify and to some of these other platforms, but the trick then is centralizing that data and getting it maybe into your accounting system. That can get a little tricky. We won't get into all the kind of crazy stuff there, but if you have simple inventory needs, and you're not super concerned about having to centralize it all in your accounting system, things like Shopify are going to be great options for you. So with that, actually, I think I'm going to turn it back to Erica because she is way more qualified than I am to talk about social. So.
Well, and I also just wanted to add in too that a lot of these overlap in certain ways. So for example, the WordPress and WooCommerce, that's something that if you're building an inventory and putting your website online and letting people shop there, it can even be used with some of the devices that Kim has, because we can use the Heartland payment systems to make sure that we're connecting everything. So all of this stuff actually integrates together in a lot of different ways. Similar to that, Shopify is another solution that really makes it easy to do your catalogs and your stores through platforms like Facebook and Instagram. But one of the things that just happened on Tuesday of this week, May 19th, which is really exciting, Facebook actually announced and launched their whole new Shops program. So this is a real big game changer for businesses that are trying to get their products online. And we'll kind of go through that. But first, just kind of to just jump back into the website pieces. As a business that is going to be out there trying to engage with people and make sure that you're able to do sales, again, having something that is as simple as a WordPress website, a Wix website with all of your contact information, these will be some of the best practices that you'll want to look for. You'll want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly, that people can navigate it easily, that it loads quickly. And if you have questions about how to make that happen, Justin or myself can help with that. It's kind of a rework of the last discussion. So again, Facebook just announced a whole new platform where they make it really simple for businesses to create online shops straight through their Facebook. So in order to have a Facebook shop, a business has to have physical items to sell. So you're not going to be setting services up on a store. You're going to have to agree to their merchant terms, have a valid US bank account that we can share the month or transfer the money to, and then have a tax identification number. Once you have all of that, it's really simple to go in and create a Facebook shop. And there are a ton of advantages to doing it there. First of all, you're able to appear in Marketplace. So if you're selling products locally, it's going to show up in different areas instead of just through your Facebook feed. People can search for your products, and whether it's geolocation or by keywords. And another great thing is that Facebook now is a full platform that allows you to catalog all of your products and then also share them on Instagram. And we'll get into that a little bit. But another thing that I really like about Facebook shops that just helps it be a little bit more engaging and interactive is if somebody is going through your catalog and shopping, as a consumer, they have the option to immediately message you, ask you questions, and as long as you're there to respond, that instant response can be something that really helps you close that gap a little bit more quickly. So to set up your business for Facebook, first of all, on Facebook and Instagram, you have to have business profiles. So that's going to be a really big thing for you to look at and make sure you're not working off of a personal profile. If you need help setting up a business profile, reach out to me and I can help kind of walk you through those steps. But once you have a business profile, you can go into the settings and you can actually change your templates and tabs, which will just change the view of all of the tabs that you have available to you, from services, which is the default, to either business or shopping. If you change it to shopping, you will immediately have a shopping tab that starts to appear on your page. From there, you can actually set up your shop, and they make it really, really simple. You go in, you create an e-commerce manager account for your business page, you link your business accounts. But before doing this, you need to make sure that you have all of your banking information and all of your accurate business information pulled together just to make it more seamless. But from there, once you have your shop set up, you can go into creating a catalog with all of your products. And again, what that does is it allows you to instantly show your cataloged products on Instagram as well. So I'll really quickly touch on how Instagram works and how it's a little bit different. For Instagram, of course, you need to have a local supported market. You need to have physical goods. You have to comply with their commerce policies. Your Instagram account needs to be a business account, and it also has to be directly linked to your Facebook business page. If all of those things are checked off, then again, those products from your Facebook catalog will automatically be available to your Instagram catalog. And one thing that that does, it makes it really, really easy for you to create posts, to create stories, to create live videos, and you can actually tag your products in there so people can interact with them, they can engage with them. And this, again, is something that's completely new to Facebook and Instagram as of this week, is that great collaboration between the two platforms. They make it really easy to actually sell your products online. So again, doing it through a catalog manager on Facebook makes it really simple to incorporate your Instagram. And then to help with both of those, I actually recommend running paid ads to showcase specific products. So once your content and once all of your products are put into your catalog, then you're able to go out and market those and target individuals specifically based on their interest or demographic. Here are some examples of ways that some of the actual products that are put into a Facebook catalog can be viewed through Instagram. This is an example of a post where there are 3 different products that have been tagged, and you can see the view products down at the bottom. The center one is an example of a story where they're tagging the product itself, and somebody can directly message you, again, that interaction and making it really easy to talk to the business owner about the products that they're trying to sell is fantastic. And this last one is a live, which can be done on Facebook or on Instagram. And it could be you demonstrating or showcasing a product live. People can interact, and you can also have it there available to sell. So it makes it really fun and a really great way to get in front of your audience using those social platforms specifically as e-commerce sites. So it doesn't necessarily need to completely replace anything. I think it's a great complement to having a good e-commerce website. But it is a great way to, again, use this data and these insights to really target your audience, and you can spin up an online shop really quickly if you need to. And again, this was a really high-level overview, so we're open to taking some Q&A on this and then jumping back into any other discussions that we need to have on these pieces.
I have a question, guys, for
Sure.
both of you. So you've got a Facebook, you've got an Instagram, and you've got your website. Do they all need to kind of, I would guess they all need to work together in some format, because and is the inventory then sit on your website, and that's what Facebook and Instagram are find?
Well, that's where it can get a little bit more complicated. So that's where Justin was talking about some of those different inventory managers. You would probably still have a system to manage your inventory, and that in most cases can be directly incorporated into your Facebook catalog. So you can put the quantity that you have in there, you can track it through sales that way. But if you're also doing it through your website, then you need to make sure that you are compiling that data for accuracy. And that's something that, again, with Justin services, you might be able to do directly through your website or a plugin that does inventory management for you.
Great. So if we have any other questions, if you want to put them in the chat. As Mayor Olson had mentioned, we are recording this. And so this information is going to be on our YouTube channel and the city's YouTube channel, and will be available for lots of other folks. Looks like we have some folks that are just saying thank you. So I'm guessing with that, we are done for now. I want to thank all of our guests, Kim from Heartland, and Justin and Erica. Thank you guys so much for sharing that information. That was a lot of good information in a short time. And just to let you know that we have 3 more in this series, and our next one will be next Tuesday, May 26th, and we'll be talking about best practices for COVID-19 signage. All right, thank you all. Take care.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody.